Hello everyone, this is Amnesia again. There we go, sorry, setting up the head to update XSplit. So this is another game sent in to me by the Red Bandit. You can see he's gonna be our red Zerg player, spawning down here in the bottom left, and up in the top right will be DSTX's TheYellowOne. And I recognize the name, I'm not sure from where. I feel like it might be from one of Tasteless's streams. Maybe I casted a game of his, I don't know. So I'm not sure what they're talking about. Apparently they've played some games before this. It's pretty much the case with most Starbow games. You get to know the people because it's a much smaller community. You don't just hit like find match, get matched up with some random asshole, and then move on to the next random asshole. And only way to win it is greed. I don't know about that in Starbow so much. Seems like definitely not quite as greedy a game. But gateway coming down, spawning pool before expansion. A little bit out of character from what we've seen before from the Red Bandit. He was always a very, very greedy player. But now he is getting his spawning pool here. And actually, maybe he did do this versus Protoss last time. Maybe I'm completely crazy because I'm thinking about it now. I think I remember the 10 pool with the Overlord finishing after the pool. It was already almost done. He grabs from this mineral field. I love this mineral field. I remember I was watching a game here, and there was like a wall set up here. And what I really wanted to see, oh, how come this one has 16, and this one's a full mineral patch? That's a little bit imba. But yeah, I was like, what I really wanted to see was there was like all these Zerglings trying to get through, and then the Terran had a wall. And I was really hoping that he'd just send 2 drones in there to gather up the mineral field and then run through. Thought that'd be pretty amazing, but it didn't happen. But I know it will someday, and I'll be so excited when it does. So the Zerglings moving out now, going to be heading up on over here. I'm really surprised that this mineral field is like that was overlooked. I can't imagine that was on purpose, that the top right just gets a bigger mineral field. The Zealot and the Zergling is going to clash midfield here. One of the Zerglings gets swiped at, and looks like the Zealot will fall before killing anything. Really nice control there, microing that wounded Zergling out. So he's going to continue to head up over here. Photon cannon about halfway finished, but the wall is completed, well, aside from over here by this mineral field. But he throws down a pylon, and now it is completely walled off. Zealot's moving out there, trying to put a little bit of pressure on. Just scaring, doing a little dance back and forth. Is that Zergling speed already finished? I think it is, yeah. So he went straight for the Zergling speed. That's all finished up. So he's got these super fast Zerglings, but he can't get in because it's already forged, fast expanded in his face. But he's got his own expansion about to finish. Ooh, poor Overlord. Wandering a little bit too far there. That cannon gonna scare him off. He should live. I don't know what would possess him to turn back around, but we've seen that third hatch going down. Actually, in a reasonable spot. Usually, the Red Bandit takes further expansion, which I learned recently is because the idea behind it on like a 4-player map, Zerg player will take his third base at one of the other player's naturals because it's further away and it has like a better choke. Then they can use the choke to defend, and then on top of that, then there's a base between their existing bases that they can use to expand later in the game. So then it's like safer to expand later, I guess. That's the explanation that was given me. That anyway, this probe be in the backup wall here should the Zealots be out of position and the Zerglings try to run by. Probe will be here to buy them a little bit of time. And I believe these are what do you, I forget that fucking word for it. Oh, the Zealot not able to get back in position, though he's able to cut off some of them. 3 Zerglings make it into the base, but he's not really paying attention. There they go, back into action now. And gonna run up here and do a little bit of probe harass. The probe should be able to kill them a little bit. I mean, you can if you control the probes a little bit better, then he could have actually got us around there, I think, or at least scare them off. But nope, just doing a little zap. This Zealot doing everything he can. They're able to pick off one of the Zerglings. Good deal, but this pack of 3 Zealots going to move down here, and the Zerg doesn't really have anything to deal with. He's got the Spinecrawler finishing with a Queen, so I take that back. I guess Pretty sure the Queen Enrage will at least hold these Zealots back for a bit until the Enrage cools off. And there we go, there's the Enrage, but a nice surround there. He's trying to block him in. Nice rifting back into his main. That rift spell, so good for that early harass. I love that they left that in from, well, I mean, it's obviously not the exact same in StarCraft 2, but I like that they left that kind of, that idea of the recall in there. Because it just does open up a little bit more options for the Protoss, which is generally a slow-moving army. But the Zergling's going to be able to run in here now. The Zealots were completely out of position. The Rift takes so long to cool down. And these probes are in trouble here. They're going to try to fight, but not going to win that fight. And these probes at home, what are they going to be able to do? Doesn't look like much. Ooh, they just keep mining. There he goes. He's trying to stack them up a little bit there. Good idea. While the Zealots get back home. So these Zealots finally getting up here to fight some of the Zerglings, and the Zerglings are just going to try to dance back and forth at the wall here. We see that the Zealot has moved back into position to stop a flood of Zerglings coming in. We do have Hydralisk and Hydralisk range coming in, so it's going to be a nice Hydralisk transition. From watching some of the streams, it seems that Zealots can actually be pretty good once they get speed against the Hydralisks, because the Hydralisks just don't do much damage versus Zealots. But it's always nice to have some beefier units to support your Zealots. Pure Zealot is a pretty hard composition to win with, from my experience. So we got one Dragoon on the way. So there's that range I was talking about, that support fire. So all's good. We've got one Dragoon. That's all you need. These Zealots doing such a good job of just keeping the TheYellowOne busy. And they're slowly going to pick off a couple more of these probes. They're so good at focusing down the probes that are on the gas. So TheYellowOne has to keep putting more and more people in gas. He's losing gas mining. And this is all getting a nice little swipe off there. Speed is done. You can see they're suddenly moving much faster. And this Overlord in a pretty nice position here. You're able to see quite a bit. And I think you might have seen that move out too. Not entirely sure. Might be that he didn't. It doesn't look like Red Bandit's really getting ready for this push here, but I don't know if he needs to do a nice little split up here from the TheYellowOne, or these ones go... Oh, these ones are going to run into a wall of Hydralisks. That's what they're going to do. These ones at the top here are going to start picking off Spine Crawlers, but more Hydralisks running up here. He's going to try to focus down the Spine Crawlers that just get cancelled anyway. One of the Dragoons almost falling. One Zealot got lost and tried to run up the hard way back to his buddies and gets taken out. And the TheYellowOne forced to retreat. They're not able to do any damage whatsoever other than a few cancellations. And what does he really do at this point? He's getting the Templar Archives. Storm, really, really good against the Hydras if you can catch them in it. And he's finally getting that Singularity Charge to get that Dragoon range. But I actually think Zealots are the better choice to just stick with those against the Hydralisks. At least for now. And the Overlord going to fly back over the high ground, but not quite in time. Does get taken out. Small victories, that's what the TheYellowOne needs to hang on to here. But he does have the supply lead. I'm not sure how much that's going to pay off. I think these Zerglings are here to be forgotten forever. And we're now seeing Hydralisk speed on the way. So Red Bandit just going to stick with this heavy Hydralisk play. You know, and I'm thinking I've only casted really PV or ZVTs with the Red Bandit. And I think that's why this play is seeming so weird to me. Because I just haven't really casted any of his ZvPs. Another small force of Dragoons and Zealots. He's really switching into more Dragoons, and like I said, I think Hydralisks do pretty well against Dragoons. The other one also needs to start considering taking a base behind this. He's got some Dark Templar out now, morphing into an Archon. And I think if he pushes with this, then it would be a good time for him to take his third. But Red Bandit looking to put on a little pressure. Also might be able to pick off this Archon before it does anything. There we go, a couple of volleys going off, and the Archon does get taken out. A couple of Hydralisks falling though, some on the move command. And the Zealots trying to dance back and forth, not wanting to get kited there too much. But the Zealots are faster than the Hydralisks, and there we go, finally making some connections, and you can just see the Hydralisks just melting away with those Zealot shields up there, but now suddenly it's just Dragoons versus Hydralisks, and the TheYellowOne's going to try to get out of there as fast as possible. So many Hydralisks. The thing is, the Hydralisks can bunch up so much better than Dragoons can, and a couple of misrallied Dragoons here having a rough time. And these Dragoons are finally going to retreat home here, a couple more coming up. And it's a nice little surround the TheYellowOne keeps going for here, but just not quite enough units. Wants to get a couple more zealots out, I think. I'm really hoping he goes for more zealots, but getting the Hydralisk split up a little bit there, and the Hydralisk now just going to focus down the Dragoons one by one. A Dark Templar in the mix there might go unnoticed, and that will get a few more kills. And suddenly the Hydralisk numbers are plummeting. 4 Dragoons, a Dark Templar, and a Zealot are all that remains for TheYellowOne. Meanwhile, a large group of Hydralisks is trying to form up back here. And I really think, even though the push didn't really get any damage done to the infrastructure, it took out a lot of the army, and I think he traded pretty effectively there. Looking at that, we do see a little over 1,000 more resources lost for the Protoss player, which is a little bit unfortunate for him, because his opponent also has the economic lead at this juncture in the game. We see that, well, actually, I'm full of it. He's actually down 8 workers, and his income doesn't. It's actually not quite as high as his opponent. Well, it's pretty even. I don't know. It's bouncing back and forth. But yeah, so it's actually not. I thought the TheYellowOne was in bad position, but it turns out I get it. They're the same. Don't know why I didn't catch that before. The TheYellowOne is actually the TheYellowOne, and the Red Bandit is red. Clever, so cute. But the units actually walking past each other here might end up in sort of a base trade scenario that High Templar getting taken out before he has a chance to do anything, and Storm isn't researched yet. It's only about a quarter of the way. These Hydralisks doing so much damage, and the Protoss army moves so slow that he's not able to get over here, and the Hydralisks get a head start on this base race. That is just so unlucky that they happen to walk past each other there. I'm not sure who it would have benefited if the armies would have actually met. But now they are in full base race mode, and the Hydralisk a little bit more mobile than the Protoss at Deathball. But this Dark Templar getting so many shots out, and with no Overseer around, he's just going to be able to kill one by one. So as long as the Protoss player can keep a little bit alive, this Dark Templar should be able to eventually clean up all of these Hydralisks. Protoss army making its way down through the natural now, leaving a couple of units behind to try to clean up the third, but Hydralisk spawn and will clean up the rest of the Dragoons. Hydralisk up in the main of the Protoss base, trying to run away from this Dark Templar, it looks like. And moving into the main now, the TheYellowOne will start going for tech structures, killing off a couple of the drones that are still mining there. The Queen gets taken out, no more enrage for her. And the TheYellowOne is now out of Nexi and has now rebuilt in his main. Izidov might actually rebuild in his natural also, but he might be saving that money so that he can get some reinforcements should he need them. Natural getting taken out, and this High Templar hanging out there with the rest of the army, pretending like he's a fighting unit, getting up nice, close, and personal with that hatchery. A couple of Overseers morphing in now, won't be fooled by that Dark Templar again. All the Hydralisks return home, and suddenly this force looking... Ooh, the Storm does not get off, so that will be very hard for the TheYellowOne to stay alive here. All the Dragoons getting taken out, the Zealots moving up to the Hydralisks, clawing away at some of them, but eventually they all do go down. A couple more Zealots still remaining in the main base of the Red Bandit, though, trying to hack away at this hatchery, not really taking on any important tech structures. The Hydralisk Den and the spawning pool still do stand. Hydralisk moving down here, going to clean up these Zealots. But the Zealots had very specific orders, and they will try to finish off the hatchery. Does not go well for them, obviously. Mordic Templar trying to make their way across the map now that the Overseers and the Spore Colonies, Spore Crawlers are out. I don't see the Dark Templar actually doing anything significant here, but it's nice to keep the pressure on, at least, at the very least, keep the Red Bandit's forces at home. The Dark Templar running for his life. The Hydralisk trying to chase him down, but the Overseer fell behind a little bit. A little bit of a indecision from that Dark Templar, though, will cost him his life, it looks like. These Dark Templar, seeing what's awaiting them, and they get out of there. This Dark Templar kind of blending in with the Hydralisks at this point. Man, he's going to run off to the corner and try to hide. Looks like it'll work. No! Finally, the Red Bandit catches a glimpse of the squigglies over there and goes after him. Dark Templar, though, trapped against the wall, comes out with his claws out. Ooh, and these Dark Templar are going to get off a few drone kills. Really nice distraction there by the Dark Templar that's dying. He does go down. The other two Dark Templar escape with their lives. And let's take a look at the income at 1 Harvester for the Zerg player. 0 income. Where is this drone at? He's back home. He has a lot of work ahead of him. Said that, wow, the Red Bandit's income skyrockets. 32, 64. There's 0 just a second ago. But the Red Bandit knows that he has to make something happen with these Hydralisks. Because he didn't kill off as many workers as his opponent did, obviously. There we go, moving up here. He's going to have to fight against a couple of charge lots, though. One Hydralisk gets taken out. A second Hydralisk falls. A few of the Zealots, though, falling as well. And finally, the Zealots are all cleaned up, getting taken into a nice big concave of Hydralisks there. The Hydralisk marching in. Nice little death march starting up on the StarCraft music there. Ooh, and that might just not be enough army units for the Yellow One to hang in here, even though he does have a huge economic lead. Like 21 times the amount of workers. And oh my god, I didn't even see that there are Dark Templar back in his base, killed off the only remaining worker. And now if the Yellow One can survive, he wins. Yeah, because Red Bandit doesn't even have enough to build another hatchery, so he could make a few more drones if he chooses to, but he does not choose to. So now it's a base race and a Nexus going down in the bottom right hand corner here. And as long as Yellow One can get something up, or at least survive long enough for all these buildings to get taken out. These Dark Templar are doing so much work. 2 of the hatcheries have fallen, leaving just the 2 macro hatches standing. Probes transferring all the way down here. I might spread a couple out, try to drop a pylon at some opposite corners or something like that, just to buy as much time as you can. Where are the Overseers, though? I thought he had some Overseers somewhere, but maybe not. Where are they? Oh, there's an Overseer all the way in his base. Overseers are so slow in this. This Dark Templar running over here to try to help out his buddy to take out this hatchery. These Hydralisks coming over here, getting here way before this Overseer. Jeez, you need several Overseers in this game. I didn't realize how slow those were. The Hydralisks running for their lives now. Wow, that scenario changed. The Hydralisks did find this base down here in the bottom right, and they're going to keep chasing down the probes. And Nexus going down here in the top left. That will be the last building that Yellow One can build until he gets a little bit more mining done. These Dark Templar are finally going for the hatchery again. The Overseer has arrived, though. Can they take out the buildings? The spawning pool will fall. Does this lose health? No, it doesn't. It keeps its health. It doesn't need creep. And there we go. The Dark Templar now getting taken out. Second Dark Templar falls. 1 Dark Templar remains. He runs off in the corner to hide. Good luck, though. He's kind of trapped in this base. The Zerg player should be able to find him eventually, but he's not actually looking for him. Wow, crazy game. So the Zergling's going to go out and try to scout where they need to go. This 1 Dark Templar, if the Zerg player leaves, takes his army. No, okay, he still does have this group of Hydralisks here. So these are his assault. This is his assault squad. This is his defense squad. Trying to take out this Vespene Geyser that would leave just these 2 buildings that are keeping the Red Bandit in the game, which is why he's keeping a group of Hydralisks here. But I think it's okay. His Overseer is there. And he did build a couple of drones, so he is suddenly having some income again. When this base was canceled because of that Zergling. And yeah, so the Yellow One now is in a lot of trouble. He's lost all of his workers, and it looks like, I mean, this 1 Dark Templar has to somehow beat all these Hydralisks, but he can't. He's too close to the Overseer. There's no way he can get up there and defeat this. There's a good game. Wow, that was totally bizarre. Weirdest Starbow game I've seen yet. But really nice play, keeping everything, using the 2 different attack squads there by the Red Bandit. Really good choice keeping that Overseer back here. Otherwise, the game could have turned out very differently. This hatchery very low. But in the end, keeping those Zerglings scouting and everything really paid off. So good game to both those players, and I'll see you guys next time.